All right, we're going to start with the nation. Back in the IU Deputy Sean Atiku's rally in Ibadan. Nigerians should expect life-defining infrastructure, says Tinubu. Why petrol is scarce by major marketers. Finance Minister economy on rebound. Lagos declares 4 work-free days for PVC collection. NJC decries state's failure to pay judges' retirement benefits and others. An explosion rocks APC rally in Port Harcourt. Okay, which story are we?
Let me take the PSA. Lagos State has declared 4 days work-free for civil servants so that they can go and collect their PVCs. The head of service announced it yesterday, and he says that these days start January 24th to 27th of 2023. The dates include grade levels 01, 03, 07, and 15. It will be January 24th. Levels 02, 04, 08, and 13, January 25th. And levels 05, 09, 12, and 17 is the 26th of January. And 6, 10, 14, and 16, January 27th. And also talking and appealing to the heads of these places to allow for their workers to go on these days so that they can collect their PVCs, and encouraging Nigerians to collect our PVCs because it is your civic responsibility.
So the flag bearer for the APC, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was in Abuja yesterday at a consultative session with the leadership and members of the Federation of Construction Industry in Nigeria, FOCI, where he promised that Nigeria will be prosperous and better if elected. He said that his aspiration is not for personal reasons, adding that a better future for Nigerians' children is his goal. He also promised high-capacity telecommunications networks, constant energy supply, protection of oil and gas pipelines, and adequate power supply. He also said he will be modernizing the nation's airports, and also his dream would be to pursue and establish a new national carrier. He made quite a few promises and at the event, and it was good to see other people join him at that event. Okay.
Yeah. Yesterday, according to the NJC spokesperson, the National Judicial Council spokesperson, Soji, some states have decided to hold judges retirement benefits, severance pay, and gratuity, and even owe them pension. He disclosed this after the 100th meeting of the NJC yesterday, and they condemn this in very strong terms. They also, said it contravenes rule of law, it undermines rule of law, and have directed that the state chief justice or judges of each state should file report on compliance going forward, or non-compliance going forward, so that the council can deal with them not later than April 1st. But this is saddening because, this is a body, or this is a profession that would like to have utmost independence and carry itself with the nobility that it requires. But when these kind of things, present judges are seeing what they are doing to past judges, they'll start to sort themselves. We don't want corruption to be, and already we're trying to rid the body of that. I don't understand why state governors or, payment establishment within states would be thinking it's normal to do this.
Major headline. So I want to take the story of the campaign, PDP campaign moves to the first of the G5 governors. This is the first campaign they are holding in Oyo State, and the governor, Seyi Makinde, was not present for the campaign. And they said that also led to the fact that it wasn't as crowded. So Mapo Hall, usually, if the governor was there, would have been full, serious traffic everywhere. They said it barely covered the front. They barely had enough crowd to cover the front of the hall. They also mentioned the Olubado, current Olubado of Ibadan, Oba Lekan Balogun, who was a senator between 1999 and 2003 under PDP, has asked for the candidate, that's Atiku, to reconcile with the governor. A member of the G5, that's the Benue State Governor, Governor Samuel Otom, explained that he doesn't like the impunity and that none of the G5 governors will join Atiku's campaign. He said the PDP leadership, they have been arrogant, and they've been there's a mischief in the way they handled the rift between Atiku and the aggrieved governors. But the campaign had Governor of Sokoto State, Governor of Osun State, Governor of Edo State, Bayelsa State Governor, Akwa Ibom State Governor, Dino Melaye, Sule Lamido. There were other people there, but just that the sitting governor of Oyo State was not present.
hosting.
They don't
Supposed
host.
to be host
That's
them.
just that they
And the
don't
hosting
host.
governor, non
The hosting governor did not host.
You know who's the Punch. Rising petrol price hits 300 naira per liter. Slain NSCDC officers' families get automatic employment. UN issues new COVID-19 rules for air travel. Kano, FG probes 25 deaths from throat ailment. Core members need special life insurance for elections, says reps. FG revokes 3,402 mining titles. 2023, UK, EU, Australia issue security alerts. Article under fire for no votes, no contracts remarks. Explosion rocks South-South APC PDP rallies. So the flag bearer for the PDP has been under serious attack for his recent comments at the PDP rally where he was in Abeokuta, where he said that
No work, no contract.
no contract.
No
So
votes.
according to him, that no votes, exactly, no votes, no contract. According to him,
you.
that those members of the PDP who wish to get appointments and contracts in his administration must ensure the party wins, not just generally, but at their polls. He actually said that the members don't. It's not about walking around the political members or being visible that you are working. It's more about you ensuring that you win at your polls. That's the only way that you're going to get contracts or appointments from him. Obviously, other party are putting him under a lot of heat. One of which is the campaign spokesperson for the APC, that's Festus Keyamo, said that Atiku is already promising people contracts in disregarding the Public Procurement Act. That he's already promising this contract, and obviously a leopard never changes skin, that this is what they do when they come into power. So, I mean, these are little things you do, and you forget that there's people watching every step you take, every word you say, to analyze and, you know, critique what your comments are, although the intention might not have been that. I don't think that's what you intended to do. We're just trying to make them, force them to work. Encourage them to work. That was his intention.
Come and work.
But hey,
politics. These are political times.
Everything
if you
is
cough,
political.
they will reinterpret it for you.
The Nigerian mining, NMCO, I'm trying to get it again. Well, they disclosed that they've revoked about 3,402 mining licenses. And the Director General of the Nigerian Mining Cadastre Office, Mr. Obadiah Nkomi, he also disclosed that anybody willing, that's because he says this will, of course, bring litigations. And so if you're in need of a CTC or a CTC of a license of anybody or any company's document, they are willing to give to you because they expect that this will bring litigations. That some of those licenses got their licenses and just went to keep quiet. And that if after 30 days of getting your license, they will publish in their gazette, and once it's gazetted, you are expected to pick up your letters and start work. But you see, some people will fight for the license and just disappear without doing anything on that. So they immediately revoke after 30 days and they publish all the revocations. And if you have any need for it, come. And you also disclose that the body made 3.7 billion naira in 2022.
All right, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. Are you still reviewing Punch? Yes, you have a story.
I have the story of the outbreak of diphtheria in Kano State, the diphtheria infection in Kano State. So far, it has claimed not less than 25 lives. This was recorded, so it's described as a child killer disease, that it's easily transmitted, but also preventable by vaccines. It's a disease that affects the throat. The symptoms are like sore throat, and then you have hoarseness, swollen glands in the neck, difficulty breathing, rapid breathing, nasal discharge, fever and tiredness. And because it's an infection that could have been taken care of by vaccination, so it brings the question how this has happened. And the answer is, for most of the hard-to-reach areas in Kano State, these could be the reason why they have not gotten vaccinations or they are not vaccinated, as at when due. And NCDC is saying that they're doing all they can. They've set up a team that is helping with the cases and also doing further investigations and also encouraging vaccinations. We also have Doctors Without Borders who are there. They've set up camp in the Murtala Mohammed Specialist Hospital and Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital, and they are also, helping with treatments. So please, let's just try and do as much as we can with vaccinations. When I hear all these hard-to-reach areas for health, for health access, for access to health, it really brings to focus how government is really not in so many places.
Yes, sir.
We cannot keep saying hard-to-reach areas in 2023. We need to find ourselves everywhere because the way it affects health is the way it affects insecurity.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that's why local government is so important.
Yeah.
You need to really strengthen local governments. They are the ones that
Imagine
reach
hard to reach
yes.
area does not should
There's
not
nowhere
apply
to
to
be
local
hard to reach
government.
because there's a local government in every single
Exactly.
area.
Let me take the story of the UK, EU, and Australia have issued new security alerts. So they did this sometime last year before issuing security alerts concerning Nigeria, but now there is heightened alerts. Specifically, the EU is saying that they believe that because of the security challenges Nigeria is facing, the elections might not hold. He said the forthcoming general election, if it's not addressed, might significantly affect the stability of Nigeria. The UK government has issued that a nationwide election will take place between February and March, and that there will be danger within because of political rallies, protests. There are predicted violent demonstration. And for me, I'm like, what's your business? Mind your business. Australia, on the other hand, I like their own move. In their statement, they said Nigeria is scheduled to hold elections, and because of the risk associated with elections, they would advise their citizens not to go to political gatherings or election sites, and that's an advisory to their own people. So I would like Western world to simply advise their people, don't start predicting anything that
In countries that you don't live
in the country that you don't live in based on
I
intelligence.
prefer the Australian one. Following the explosion that happened in Port Harcourt, where at the APC ground, it's advisable to tell your
If you
people.
don't have any business there,
Thank you.
don't go.
Okay, I was going to take this. Let's move on now to another paper, Daily Sun. CBN to sanction banks over new naira notes. FG approves new fuel pump price as scarcity persists. IGP presents 13.6 billion naira checks to 6,128 families of deceased injured police officers. That's good news. Enugu launches scheme to end multiple taxes on commercial vehicles. Only unpatriotic Nigerians will vote candidates with questionable character, says Obasanjo. Lagos declares 4 workday free for collections of PVCs. 2023 article in Ibadan promises evolution of power, more powers and resources to states. Okay, which story are we taking? In Sun?
Okay, the major headline.
Headline.
So following all the shout we have been shouting, the CBN started a team that, visited banks and tested their ATM booths, and they were shocked. In fact, they mentioned some of the banks, but we will mind our business.
Why?
Let's just mind it. It's the CBN's business. The regulatory body, they should regulate.
Okay.
So they found that, all the banks and their ATMs were issuing old, dirty notes. So it's not just the old notes, but the dirtiest ones.
They will take my own.
And they will not take from other people. So they said that they made it easier. They put in measures so that each bank can come in, carry the new notes that, they've printed and exchanged. They made sure they provided for the new notes. So they're available new notes, but the banks are, in some sort of conspiracy. And they said that so they would take serious actions against that move. And they also said that on the possibility of a shift, it's not likely, according to the spokesperson, Kure. He said it's unlikely that there will be a shift of that date from the ending of the month. And so banks, please, you just make the money available and stop playing.
But please, how does it sound to you? They say that there is money, but the banks have refused to collect.
It's like we're
I think
blaming.
they have a way of picking up. So CBN is in every state. Banks go there every day, of course, to pick up new
But
notes.
obviously it's not available,
Pick
and somebody
up
is
the
not
new notes.
acknowledging.
But
so
they
they
just
Was there new note that they did not take it?
But okay, let's see.
They just
Let's
refuse
see
to
if
go
the
and pick up
our hot
sanction.
topic.
I know.
Let's see if the sanction happens.
Okay.
Said appropriate actions
people
will
make
penalty.
sense.
Let me take the
Let's
story
see
of the
if it
police
happens.
because we've always said that the police is not paying benefits to the fallen heroes. So it's important for me to take this story, and I'll take it very slowly. I know I talk very fast. So the Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, has presented 13 billion naira to police officers killed while on duty between 2012 and 2020. According to the report, a total of 6,128 families of the deceased and their personnel received the money and the benefits, ranging from 6 million naira to about 500,000 naira to the beneficiaries. He said that this has been a backlog, and I mean, of course, he apologized for the fact that it's been long-standing, but he sympathized with the families of the deceased over the loss of their breadwinners, urged them to utilize the funds judiciously in training their children, and assured them that the police, under his leadership, would continue to do more in advancing their welfare, interest, and that of serving people. So that's a good thing. I mean, I know we like to criticize Nigerian police and all the time, but when they do good things, let us highlight it. So 13 billion has been paid as benefits to their families of the deceased and those who have died on duty, and those who have even been injured on duty that are not able to work again. That's a good thing. So I just hope that they're able to use it. Okay, another story. Let's move on to Vanguard.
No, let's take the story of
You didn't answer now.
PDP, back to Ibadan. Let's just quickly visit Ibadan again. This particular story carries Atiku's campaign promise in that he reiterated the fact that he is going to restructure Nigeria if he becomes Nigerian president. He also said that he was going to end strike. There would not be any break in academic year. He would unify Nigeria and solve insecurity challenges. He mentioned he appreciated the governor, Seyi Makinde, for allowing the rally take place and even ensuring they had the ability to do it peacefully. And that's all.
Okay, moving on.
That's good. Even though he didn't host him, but he was graceful enough to acknowledge him.
Federal government increases petrol price to 185 naira to the liter. Presidency, why we prefer Obi, says Obasanjo and Otom. Elections will make or mar Nigeria, says Catholic bishops. Will secure every inch of Nigeria, says Tinubu. And, okay, those are the stories. Which story are we starting with?
NDDC
Yes.
appointment. So, yes, one Mrs. Rita Lori Ogbebo had taken the federal government to court on the body that, personalities that constitute the NDDC board. And, you know, the court ruled yesterday that the section she was relying on provides that only corporate entities can bring actions on any infractions against the NDDC or in the conduct of the business of the NDDC, including appointments. Fortunately, she raised it, the court upheld it and struck out that she has no local standing to bring that action.
Yes, so we have the federal government has officially increased the price of petrol from 8.8% to, by 8.8%, that's from 170 naira per litre to 185. They said the ex-depot price has also shot up from 148 per litre to 167 naira. Many fuel stations have adjusted, but people are saying that many filling stations are already even selling above these new prices, so it doesn't seem realistic. With the major marketers of the Association of Nigeria, MOMAN, and also IPMAN are saying that, you know, there's a scarcity. Most of them do not even have these petroleum products right now. For them, even if once this memo has come out, they don't mind, but they need to even have this, the petroleum products stocked. And say retailers of petrol in Lagos have adjusted their pump prices between 290 and over 300 naira per litre. So it just seems that government is trying to play catch up with what is happening on ground. But as we all know, there are long queues everywhere. There are few petrol stations with petroleum products that are selling, and those that are selling are using advantage of the scarcity to increase their prices above official rates. So
former President Olusegun Obasanjo has said that he prefers Peter Obi for president. He has said that he was defending his decision for supporting Peter Obi, saying that he never used the word endorse, but he did say he prefers Peter Obi, saying that anybody who only an unpatriotic and bad Nigerian would vote for a candidate with a bad character. Governor Benue has also said that he would, if he was in Labour Party, would have totally carried Peter Obi's placard, but also Peter Obi is his own preferred candidate for the election. So everybody is coming out to declare.
Endorsed.
Obasanjo said, I not use endorsed, but I prefer, he's the most preferred of all. He also said that, they all claim that he's mentees, and if he's your mentor, he should know that he knows you very well. Okay. No, Vizu, he has picked the one that he prefers.
Interesting.
We have to wrap up final story.
Really sad story about a 32-year-old student who is now 32-year-old. 9 years ago, he's been in prison for 9 years, and he said he languished in prison based on the disbanded SARS that arrested him with his friends in the claim that they were in a stolen bus. They arrested the driver and released the driver and the bus because they bribed, but because they didn't give bribe, they were kept in prison for 9 years. In that time of torture, 2 of his friends died. He was the only one that survived the 9-year ordeal, and thankfully, he was released December last year when a key witness to the case died. That was the only reason. Because that was the only reason they kept him was because there was a witness saying that he's a criminal and he's a proven student.
A national compensation. In fact, the whole of Nigeria owes him an apology for that. The Nigerian system owes him an apology. That is a really sad story. That's the kind of person that the president should be shaking and giving